Estás viendo Canal América, televisión dominicana para el mundo.
Sometimes life can be so damn hard. You don't know where to go. Everything keeps falling apart. Yeah. You try to do your best, but only God knows that you've given everything you've got, but the world takes you down. You just keep moving on. Let your fears.
Hello. So I want to welcome you all to the inaugural edition of A Time for Truth. Today, I'm very honored to have with me someone that I consider a friend of mine, and who I've known now during my last 4 or 5 years as running a educational program on drug education. And he's here with us today, and his name is Mr. Robert Hunter. How are you, Mr. Hunter?
First time you call me Robert, Ben. I'm doing pretty good. I'm walking 2 miles a day.
There's something I have here for you that came in because of your community service, and this award, which is actually not something that you can request, but you have to actually qualify for it by community service, that you actually qualified for the Presidential Award at the gold level. And here is your actual medal that, I want to present you, Mr. Robert Hunter. This is a Presidential Volunteer Service Award. And I want to actually, as I hold this award, I'm going to read to you a little bit of what this letter says. This is from the White House. Congratulations on receiving the President's Volunteer Service Award. On behalf of a grateful nation, I thank you for your service to your fellow Americans and those most in need. Through your dedicated service, you have ensured the continuance of America's unparalleled commitment to improving the lives of others. Over this past year, you have served as a model of the American spirit. Your many hours of service have strengthened the bonds of cooperation and trust that bring people together while helping to address some of the greatest challenges of our time. Our nation's greatest strengths remain in the compassion of everyday citizens who give so willingly of themselves and their lives for the benefit of others. So it goes on and on and on. And I want to just show the viewers so they can actually see this great award that you've received for your service, Mr. Robert Bobby Z, as they called you on the Globetrotters, Zorro, right?
Yeah. Want to see my sword?
Absolutely. Let me get my shield up first, though, to get prepared.
I truly thank the White House for this award. And as I was being told about it, it reminded me of being in 2002 at the Basketball Hall of Fame with Curly Neal and Meadowlark and Marcus Haynes and Jackie Jackson and Eloise Saperstein in getting this award along with Manny Jackson. and Geese Osby of getting this award. The Globetrotters going into the Hall of Fame, I just felt truly honored, as I do now with this award, because I can show this medal. I can show this medal when I go to speak and say, this is what you get when you work with your community. Because the whole object is, as my father told me, always try to make someone better.
Well, this is a good thing.
It truly is.
And you know what? I see you got your uniform on, and the audience can see that you were a Harlem Globetrotter. So tell the viewers a little bit about your background, where you were born, and how it came to be that you came to be a Harlem Globetrotter.
Well, first of all, you said I had the uniform on, and the uniform is on because today we're doing the Hello program, and it's where various Globetrotters go to visit people in there that are home-ridden and can't move. So we go in, there's a reading program, and then there's a hello program. Hey, how you doing? And what you're up to? And, you know, one of the programs we have with the hello programs is we visit Felicia, who is in bed and she can't move. Her name is Felicia Buchanan. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to make her my secretary, and I'm just very happy about that. I started with the Globetrotters because Abe Saperstein, I met him and we were playing a game called Coon Can, and I cooned his can. So he said, well, why don't you come with the Globetrotters? You play basketball, right? I said, well, yeah, a little bit. Because at that time I was sitting out and he was down at Tennessee State watching the team. In Harlem, we play Globetrotter ball every day. Me and Pablo went to see Go Man Go. And we said, hey, that's what we want to be. I love playing with the Globetrotters because it gave me a chance to play my individual style. And I played like that every day. So I looked like a Globetrotter before the Globetrotters, and I helped create some of the moves in which they're doing today. Me and a gentleman named Pablo Robinson. The greatest thing happened was during my second year, I played in Europe, in Rome, in the Roman Colosseum, 65,000 people, and Wilt Chamberlain was with us. That was really great. The crowd, Wilt Chamberlain, wow. Me scoring 41 points. The only thing happened was after he stole my girl. So, but hey, I forgave him. The Globetrotters have been a group who works in the community and who helps people to be better. We have a Globetrotter National Food Program in which we are going to be feeding kids and veterans. Veterans meaning people who come back from the war who don't have insurance to clean their teeth, that are homeless. That's what I like. Dr. Ben has been exceptionally great in that area, creating a more congenial thing for veterans, because it's embarrassing for a veteran who has served our country not to be able to go and join the dental program. But Dr. Ben and his associates have sought them out. That was very creative. From that, we were looking at doing young kids. From that, we're looking at doing a dental program in Staten Island this summer, while we also coach kids not to be on drugs. And when I say coach kids not to be on drugs, you have to be clever now to educate and to help people, because they don't want you coming in schools with drugs, talking about drugs. Although drugs come into the school, the people who want to keep them from there are not able to move in the same manner. That's why we have a program called, Hey Man, That Ain't My Thing, in which we tell them in a video, and we talk like the kids in the video, and we move like the kids in the video, what can happen to them.
Absolutely.
this past.
You know
Yeah.
what, Bobby? You had mentioned that to me as we were talking before the show. And so it's amazing that you came up with that video and that approach to youth because they love music, they love lyrics. And so what we're going to do is at this point, let's go ahead and I'm going to have the engineer put on your song, which they can find on YouTube. Hey, man, that ain't my thing.
They got coke, they got smoke, they got pills that would kill. They got ice, they got ecstasy, they got ecstasy, they got flocka. They got friends that'll come and get into your ear and they'll say, man, let's have some speed, let's stay up all night, let's do some sin, let's have some gin. But all you have to do is look them in the eye and say, hey man, that ain't my thing. And you still can be cool, you still can be fly. You still can be fresh, you can be down with all that mess. All you have to say, hey man, that ain't my thing. They got coke, they got smoke, they got pills that will kill. They got ice, they got ecstasy, they got destiny, they got flocka. They got friends that will whisper in your ear and say, let's do some speed, let's stay up all night, let's do some sin, let's have some gin. I was born on 129th Street in Lenox Avenue. We slept on the roof, the doors was open, the windows wasn't closed. You went downstairs and you could stay from 8 to 8 with no problems, just don't cross the street. Sleeping on the roof was very warm and very friendly. Then one day, the laundry was stolen off the roof. Who could take the laundry? We didn't know. The drugs had come into our neighborhood. We had been targeted. Our life was over. Now, drug-free world is here to stay. Everybody, let's get down the drug-free world. Let's get free. Let's all be together. Let's have no sin. Hey man, all you have to say, hey man, that ain't my thing. They got coke, they got smoke, they got pills that will kill. They got ice, they got ecstasy, they got destiny, they got flocka. They got a friend that'll whisper in your ear, let's take some speed, let's stay up all night, let's have some sin, let's drink some gin. But all you have to say is, hey man, that ain't my thing. You can still be cool, you can still be. My name is Bobby Hunter, and I'm here to tell you a few things. They're going to try to come to you with some smoke, some dope. They're going to try to come to you with some ecstasy and some pills that would kill. But I want you to tell them one thing. Hey, man. What's your name? Do you know anything about dope?
No.
How come? Well, I'm here to tell you today that they're going to try to come to you with some dope, some smoke, some coke. But what I want you to do is I want you to tell them, hey, man. One more time. Drug-free world. Drug-free world. I love you. Drug-free world. This is Bobby Hunter, and I approve this message.
Tell the viewers what it used to be like in Harlem in terms of your life and how the community got along.
Harlem was beautiful. It was, as it was 8 blocks away from me, the Renaissance. And Harlem was beautiful. There were clubs there. There were people coming from downtown and Furs. You could see anyone there from Elizabeth Taylor to Duke Ellington. We were taught how to dress. Your cuff had to be an inch above your sleeve. Your shoes had to be shined, and you had to wear a Stetson hat, and your manners had to be above reproach. And we were sleeping on the roof. We started learning Portuguese. Latin dancing was truly the style. And also we did the limbo and also, excuse me, but most of all, we did the bop, and we went to a place called the Cotton Club and also the Savoy. So life was so beautiful. Not until Emmett Till got killed did I realize that there were prejudice. How could you live in Harlem and not know there were prejudice in this world? Because the policemen were of a different type in Harlem. Hey, Bob, how you doing? And the recreational workers were the guardians of Harlem, such as Rucker, Mr. Ollie, Mr. Black, Buster Bryant from Millbank. These people were guardians, and they mentored, but also they illustrated. And that's a different type of mentoring and teaching, the illustration.
How do you mean? How do you mean, Bobby? Illustrate in what way? How do you mean?
Well, not only did they tell you, but they showed you. For instance, Rucker started going at night so he could graduate from college, so that he could show you. And while we were playing basketball and while he was coaching us, he was teaching at the same time.
Interesting. I see that you do that. And I noticed that when we were down at the Super Bowl in Atlanta, and we were at the Boys Club, the Boys and Girls Club, and you actually were mentoring those kids and you were teaching them about drugs. So I want you to go over that a little bit more, how you integrate the drug education. This is the program that you use here, right, Bobby? This is the Drug-Free World program. So how do you implement this program, the Drug-Free World, into your sports mentoring?
The Drug-Free World Foundation is doing a marvelous job in helping. One of the things it's done is gave me a weapon. Now I have Drug-Free World, and I'm able to give information to young kids, and also I'm able to give it to government officials, because we don't know about drugs. We think we do. And those that do, you still don't. In Kansas, they did not know about this. They didn't know about ecstasy. They didn't know about flava. They didn't know about ice. They don't know. And these pamphlets that are given by Drug-Free World are instrumental in teaching adults about it. Young kids have to be fashionable. Young kids have to have street cred. Young kids have to be cool. So I told them, you can still be cool. Have all your street cred. You can be down. You can walk the walk. But when they ask you about doing drugs, sniffing coke, doing smoke, sinning, then you just look at them and all you have to say is, hey man, that ain't my thing.
Well, I was going to ask you something, because in terms of your success, because we have people who are watching this show who are going to be very interested. How is it, because you were in sports, you're an international entertainer, the Globetrotters going all over the world. How did you manage to keep yourself away from drugs? And what was it that you utilized to succeed?
Well, what happened was there was a young man named Earl Manigault, and he was on drugs, and everyone followed him on drugs. It was unbelievable. So I worked at a center with Bernard McLean called the Black Cultural Recreational Center, where we were supposed to change the community of Morningside around 116th Street, 19th Street, and 20th. And we had the Globetrotter Center tournament, and then we had the Black Cultural Recreational Center, where we had health fairs, and we presented karate and how to be healthier, So we took Earl, who was coaching and doing refereeing, and every other day I take him to a drug program. Because I told him, I said, one day, if you take people off of drugs, then you'll be free. And I'll let you play on the Rucker Pro team, and you can be who you always wanted to be.
Wow. It's a beautiful story.
Yeah, it's even more beautiful because for 30 years, he imitated me. He was getting kids off of drugs. He was stopping kids from being on drugs. And everyone was proud to have this shirt that said, the GOAT.
Well, it shows, I tell you what, obviously you impacted him very, very greatly in his life. And that's a beautiful story.
Well, I did what you do. I did what you do. And then it came all back to me. I did what you did. And I wasn't really, I had 5 kids called Go Man Go. And I worked on them. Doing the basketball, having them travel to me to California, up to Canada and whatnot. And then I began to see that they were doing what I was doing to other kids. So the whole idea of the Drug Free World program and of the ministers is to become that person yourself and develop 5 or 10 people, and for them to develop 5 or 10 people. That is the way we're going to win. We're not going to win by charging the Capitol and breaking windows. We're not going to win by shooting. We're going to win by spreading the religion of health and of non-drug use.
Absolutely. You know, it's interesting because this program is called The Truth About Drugs. And in many of different biblical texts, ancient texts, it talks about the truth setting you free and the importance of living an ethical life. So it's interesting that this program, and I know you and I discussed it, and why we both decided to implement this Truth About Drugs program, is that it's educational and that it empowers kids, because the last thing a kid wants is to be told what to do. So when you're dealing with kids with this program, Bobby, I know I've seen what you've done. So I know what the viewers would want to know is, why did you choose this program over a lot of other programs that exist out there? And how is it that you implement it? What can be done with it?
The program is like this program here. The reason I'm on this program because it has a word, TRUE. Truth, true, true, truth. That's very important. Once you do that, you're free. Anybody who's not doing that with you, then leave them alone. So the Army passed out the booklets during the time that we were doing the clinics. So I took the Army and put them with Drug Free World, and we're a different animal now. It was surprising. It was, and the Army's approach to it. One gentleman, Sergeant, I'm in trouble, but he came on like nobody's business. He said this gave him opportunity. So what we're doing is giving people opportunities that don't know how to take advantage of what they have to say and do for people. We're giving them a vehicle. And one of the greatest vehicles is that book, because that book tells the truth about drugs.
Absolutely. You know, in this time that we've gone through so much in this past year of 2020.
Woo!
Absolutely. We can definitely, I have to say that I think we all see much more clearly after 2020. It used to be a joke, but it unfortunately became a reality. And I think, first of all, I want to tell you that I want to thank you for all the tremendous work that you have done educating the youth of this country. And the reason I say that is that 72,000 Americans have died each year, really, since 2017 now, of drug overdoses. And something important to realize for our viewers is that in this last year of COVID, that increased by approximately 50%. The country has been a tremendous amount of stress. So your drug education has been so vital and so essential. You know, as we come nearing the end of the show, I'm sure the viewers say, how do you find the time, Bobby? How do you have the energy to do this? What would be your answer to that?
My answer to that is that I've been taking Cardio Miracle, and I take something that a great friend called me, Dr. J's gel, and also pills. And that's why I'm able to walk 2 miles. And see, I'm getting ready. You see, I'm getting ready for when the C-19 slows down. I'm going to be charging ahead, because at that time, we're going to need people. As the Harlem Globetrotter Community Food Program, which feeds children during the weekend and feeds veterans and feeds the homeless. As we begin that, and we're working with a South American group to put food into China and into Africa and into India, we're going to be charging out, because we've been told, Mother Nature has told us that we have to help each other, because this is World War III, and we have to start acting like it.
Absolutely. You know what, Bobby Hunter? It's a pleasure to have you on our first show and to partake with the viewers on your accomplishments and this tremendous recognition from the President of the United States. Your example is something I know all of us out there, as we're watching this inaugural show of Time for Truth, is something we can all implement in our lives, giving of each other. And, you know, it's also many times said that when you give, you receive. And I know that I've seen that in you. You have so much energy, so much life. I hope that you've enjoyed our inaugural show with Harlem Globetrotter, Mr. Bobby Hunter. Is there anything you want to say, Bobby, very shortly before we end off?
Yes. I enjoy working with Drug Free World. And I said in the video, Drug Free World? Drug Free World, I love you.
And on that note, have a great day, and we will see you again on our next edition of A Time for Truth.
Sometimes life can be so damn hard. You don't know where to go. Everything keeps falling apart. Yeah. Try to do your best, but only God knows that you've given everything you've got. The world takes you down. You just keep moving on. Let your feet